Live. Hello.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Jenny Monday Club. All are welcome, let everybody know. Share the stream on YouTube and the like and Facebook and wherever you do the sharing. I don't know, down the local corner shop. I'm being mobbed by the phone finger.
Look who it is. It's Jenny. Jenny on a Monday at 7 o'clock. Not at 21 minutes to 9 like YouTube said because YouTube messed up.
YouTube has a lot of issues. One of which is that you put the right time in and it goes, I didn't want that, did you? Anyway, you'll be noticing the rather strange view that's on the camera. This is our roving camera and it's showing off the 009 module, which I added today. There was a video to come about that. In fact, I'm guessing all you'll have seen is the odd posts that have been going about on the Book of Face.
Yes.
But essentially, I built a little diorama to be able to photograph and video 009 models. Now, it's really tiny. I can literally hold it on one hand.
Not this hand, though. No. And also, you've managed to cover it in some very nice static grass. Who provided the applicator for the static grass? I'm
very glad that you brought this up because today's live stream is sponsored by Warp World Scenics, who make a great range of, in particular, static grass and static grass applicators, foliage, clump foliage, and sorry, I'm just going to turn the sound down. And also they have a range of laser cut MDF structures, and in particular a whole range of bowstring, camelback and steel girder bridges. So do go and check them out. We've got a link down in the description box down below. So a big thank you to them for sponsoring the live stream and making this possible. But let's see who is in the room of chattiness. We've got Dundee Road, not Lobia model. Will you stop it?
Oh, you took my hand, but I'm the cupboard monkey. I'm meant to be silly. It's not. See what she does to me? She prods me with my own fingers. It's not fair.
Josh's Train Room, Colin White, Leslie Gilpin, Richard Swiderski, AD Pullen. We've got loads of people in. Mike O'Brien, O'Neill, big hello to you. Anfield Road Layout in the loft. But yeah, we've got so Patrick Ling, Bang Got You Junction, Carl Brond. Ed Toll, Deltic Junction, James, Andrew Davis, Haven Rail, Southern Train Girl, King Fox Junction, Behave Yourself, Cupboard Monkey. So it's great to have you all in. And just Leslie Gilpin.
Do you need a drink or anything?
I've got a drink actually.
Okay, I'm going to go back to what I was doing.
Today's beverage of choice is Spanish Carver.
Ça va?
Now, yeah, will you just behave yourself?
I can't. You filled me up with sugar.
I did, you know.
Hi.
Spanish Carver. I'm a big fan of Spanish Carver. Think champagne, but for reasons relating to regionalisation of brands and brand protection. Basically, Carver is Spanish champagne. Just as the way that Asti is Italian champagne, I guess. But champagne has to come from the Champagne region of France. And I have to say that actual Champagne region of France champagne, I find terribly overrated. So I found this cheeky little number. Give me a moment. Oh, silent but deadly. I found this cheeky little number in the Co-op. So I just really fancied a nice carver, you know? Sometimes you just really fancy it. I've got the proper glasses for it as well. Well, we've got some of the, you know, the baby sham type glasses downstairs. And I do love supping it from those. But I do think that they're a bit pretentious. So I've gone for flutes instead. Big hello, Jamie Hodgson. And Dundee Road says, all for yourself. I don't see anybody else drinking it, do you? So, this is me not yet drunk. Oh, yeah, that camera is working now, which is great. Oh, that's a good year. Gonk Droid 229. Hi, Jenny, hope you're well. I'm thinking about getting a tank engine for my 60 Zero layer. Anything you would recommend on the market at the moment? I'd like a Terrier or a J50. I think both of those are excellent choices. In particular, actually, the J50 is available at a really great price from a number of different retailers. I've seen them at Hatton's, at Rails, and Kernow Model Centre. All three of those I actually looked at, and they got them at really great prices. There's probably a lot of other model shops as well, and you really just can't go wrong with the J50 from Hornby. The Terrier, again, it is a good model, but it has to be remembered that in terms of operational area, operational coverage, the Terrier tended to be actually far more restricted than people imagined that they were, certainly by the BR period, ostensibly to places like the Hayling Island branch. Brighton Works actually used them as works shunters as well. But it depends, because the Terrier is a great locomotive in model form. The Hornby one's good value at the moment, a lot of markdown prices. And then, of course, the Rails Terrier is a little bit more expensive, but is a better model. Not to detract anything from the Hornby model, it is still a good model. As you know, you pay your money, takes your choice. Excuse me, my clothes are falling down. It's a really weird angle this chair leaves you in. But yeah, I'd say go for the J50. It's available at a really great price, and it is a great locomotive. So who else have we got in? A big hello to Skipsy Trains, Timber Surf, hi to you, Steve's Trains UK. Are you two on the wine already? Would you believe it? The Cupboard Monkey is teetotal. So all for me. I've got to be careful actually. If I drink too much, I will be blotto. Box Ride says hi from America. Big hello to you, and big hello to all of you in America, and say hello to Ken Patterson for me on the What's Neat This Week podcast. Haven Rail, hi to you. Model Rail and wine reviews, who could ask for more? I know. Mini West Aston Junction, big hello to you as well. Right. I'm probably amazingly behind on the comments already. We've got 105 people in the chat room. Don't forget to tickle that like button and share the stream as well. I know it's great weather outside at the moment. It's quite warm, so I'm guessing a lot of people will watch this on the later on after dark, after it's been out live. Because why wouldn't you make the most of the hot weather if you're in a position to? But certainly at the moment, I know, because people are going to be asking me, what is it that we have got going around the layout? Right, well, first up, we've still got the Pullmans going around behind Class 33008 from Helgen, in the Gauge Master Collection Eastleigh Green, but with tops numbers, so that's still left there from last week. We've got a Hornby Sound Fitted Class 50, I think it's 500, what have we got? 50002. I can't read the name from here, my eyesight's not good enough to. But I'm sure somebody in the chat room will know which one 50002 is. It's in Network Southeast, the revised Network Southeast actually, and that's going round on a parcels train. And then we have the 4471, I think it is, Flying Scotsman is going round. I know. A couple of months ago I got asked, oh, have you got a Flying Scotsman? And I said, no, I don't. But a big thank you to Tim's Trains, who rectified that and provided 3 locomotives to the channel, one of which was the sound-fitted Flying Scotsman. The Hornby Railroad model comes factory-fitted in the LNER Apple Green, so she's going around a very unprototypical collection of BR re-railing livery coaches and the Satlink Gov on the end. They're all Bachmann bar. I think the full brake is Hornby. Right. Wardle Road says, hello Jenny, I finally hit the 1000 club. Hope all are well. Yeah, we are. Yeah, I saw you posting about that. It's always great when you reach milestones like that. So well done. Paul Hinder, evening to you. Not Lobia, Model World. My feed is stuck. It's coming through okay for me, it has to be said. Let me just double check something. Just suddenly realised mobile data. Yep, that's turned off. Kevin ZZ, good evening to you. Let's have a look. Fly Mode Chairman 1. Am I coming through okay on the levels? Actually, I'm looking at it. Yeah, we should be coming through okay. Paul Hinder, Jamie Smith, David Cook, hi to you, King Fox Junction, J94, big hello to you. Haven Rail, started on the hills for my new layout. Polystyrene beads absolutely everywhere, and they stick to everything with the static. Yeah, they do. Unfortunately, you can't really seem to get away from that. One thing I would say is the hot wire cutter. If you can get yourself hold of one of those, do be very careful when using them, because there can be, they bite back if you're not careful. But certainly, it's something which does tend to minimise the polystyrene beads because it cuts rather than plucks. But yeah, sympathise, and you'll be finding those polystyrene beads forever and a day afterwards. When Les and I were doing GMRC, we were doing a lot of scenery with that, and forever finding the little beads of the stuff for months afterwards. Lee 50C says, what 08 shunter is better for I'm assuming that's DC, Hornby or Bachmann. They both have their merits, and in a way, Hornby versus Bachmann on the Class 8 shunters is to some degree a lot like Hornby versus the Rails Daypole on the Terriers. The Bachmann model is a good solid model, and the only thing that you can't really do with it is easy sound fitting. But it is a good model, and it's available at a great price, great range of liveries. The Hornby Class 8 shunter, the Super Detail one, natively supports sound with the TTS sound chip fitting, so that is a doddle. It is a more refined model, but it's available in fewer liveries, and it's also the case that it does tend to be more expensive. So both great models, but the Hornby one has the edge on the Class 8 front. Wolfie Wolf, A up Jenny, I to you. Gogdroid 229, absolutely welcome. Skipsy Trains, the Terrier is a local to me here on the Isle of Wight. We have two here on the Steam Railway, W8 Freshwater and W11 Newport. Now it's interesting, on Saturday I think it was, on the announcement, one of the things that was announced from the government was, amongst other things, about investigating reopening two lines on the Isle of Wight. I haven't seen any of further details on this, and I'm guessing at this moment it's more a case of pie-in-the-sky ideas, but I'd be interested to see that, because the Isle of Wight used to have quite an extensive rail network, which was absolutely decimated in the 1960s, so much so that at one point, I believe, they considered closing everything on the island. In the end, the Ryde to Shanklin line remained open using some London Underground stock, and even though I think it's Ventnor, is it, that it would have gone through the tunnel to, should have remained open. They weren't going to spring for the extra substation that required, so it actually artificially closed to Ventnor. But the Isle of Wight Steam Railway preserved a little bit, but they were thwarted at a lot of turns by indifferent councils, people who just thought railways were passe, the roads of the future sort of thing. So it'd be interesting to see if the Isle of Wight network will expand again. That is quite a nice carver, it has to be said. O'Neill says, do you have any 009 locomotives? Actually, I'll be honest with you, if we go back to this shot, what you see on camera there is almost my entire 009 collection. I have two single bolster flat four-wheel wagons, which I actually bought as loans for 00 wagons. And then I have also got the three Festiniog bug box coaches that you see there. I've got the first class, the third class, and the zoo car observation car, which were kindly sent to the channel by Kiko for review. The review was filmed today, and then I continued the filming, but for a different video, for the update on Weir Yard, which is coming out not this Friday, but next Friday. I incorporated the diorama into the layout, and it's actually, what it shows is how easy it is to incorporate a diorama that is built away from the layout into the layout, such that you can, blend it in, and it looks superb. It looks like Sorry, I've got the hiccups from that now. It does very much. Have we lost the feed? Just give me a moment. No, we haven't lost the feed. Sorry, my phone went a bit weird there. So basically, using the Wall World Scenic static grass applicator, which I've actually moved over there so I can't reach it. But one of the things that I found that the Wall World Scenic's static grass applicator and static grass is excellent for is hiding joins on where you put a diorama into the main layout and just blending everything together. It's absolutely a doddle to do that, so really can't recommend that product highly enough. And we've got a link down in the description to the sponsor, who is Wall World Scenic, so you can go and have a browse of their bits and pieces. But you can see the result here. In fact, Jamie Smith actually asked, and the beverage of choice tonight, Jennifer, Cava, Spanish Cava. I did introduce it at the start. So we've got Spanish Cava. So I'll get very drunk. But, right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift up the roving cam. And that area there is the diorama that I built. You may have seen some of the photographs online being shared of it. But round here is, if I can get enough slack on the... Yeah, I've got some slack here. You see there, you wouldn't be able to see where the diorama ends and the original layout begins. And that is all blended together literally in less than a minute. I hid the join using the static grass applicator and the various static grasses. You really wouldn't know where that join is. So we've got really just a very short, about 10 inches long scene that those coaches are posed on. And that is all that is really. I just, having built it, I was, let's get a different angle though for, having built it, I was thinking it's a shame to just put it on a shelf and let it gather dust. I really wanted to incorporate it into the layout, and that's where I've ended up being able to find a bit of space for it. Big hello to Daryl Hearn. Bolton Model Railway Society as well says, hi Jenny, can you remind everyone about the competition please? Absolutely, and Bolton Model Railway Society, if you post a link to that, it's the diorama building competition. So do go and check out their website. The prize is a Daypole streamlined rail car, and you may remember that we reviewed those on the channel a few months ago actually now. In fact, is it probably about February? Oh, happier times with pre-lockdown. And it is a very impressive model, a model which passed under my radar a little bit. Daypole sent one out of the blue to be reviewed. And actually I did fall in love with it, so it is a great, great prize. Go to Bolton Model Railway Society's website, and the competition is judged by myself and Les Cliff. So don't forget to, there's still plenty of time to check that out. And as you can see by the diorama that I knocked up in 30 minutes, yes, that's right, 30 minutes that little diorama took me to knock up. And it's the actual picture that you'll have seen for the live stream before you actually click onto the live stream is the diorama separate from the layout. 30 minutes that took me, built using scrap materials, so there's still plenty of time to get involved. Patrick Ling, just bought myself a little GWR 1361 saddle tank from Kerno at a bargain price of £69. Yeah, they've got it's the DJ Models version. I've not really heard any bad things about it, and certainly £69 is a really great price. So well done there. Brian Harper, hi to you from Canada. Shane's Trains, hi to you. John Nutman, hi. Let's have a look. Just trying to, we've got 134 people, and I suspect because of the really good weather, a lot of people are out and about at the moment. So Diesel1313 says 50002 is superb. Thank you very much, that is superb. That you were able to tell me that. Bob Patterson says, hey to all from the land down under, all fit and well. Absolutely grand. Yeah, Mark Wilson also says 50002 is superb. How can you not know this? Blasphemy. You should know all the 50 names. I can read them backwards. Ho, ho, ho. Oh, nurse, the screens. I've only got two. I've got Achilles and Superb. Wolfie Wolf, a big hello to you. Dan started playing with N-Gage. I just discovered Cody Track. Wow. Richard Swiderski, 4472, Flying Scotsman Jenny, not 4471. That was Green Arrow. You got me there. Leslie Gilpin, a big hello to you, says 50002, also known as D402. Don't know the D numbers of those, but I'll take your word for it. Let's have a look. Richard Swiderski says sound fine. Oh my word. Gosh, I am that far behind. Let's have a look. I'm just going to try and scroll in. Right, Timbersurf, I know about something else that bites back, but you will have to wait for vidbit number 12 to find out. LOL. Oh, it is good actually, this carver. It's under £7 a bottle, which is quite good for a carver. Bob Patterson asks, anyone get on the list for the Hornby Captain Tom Diesel? I didn't order it, I have to say, but certainly I know that they increased the production run a little bit, so hopefully everybody who wanted one will have been able to have got one. Tommy Richards says, do you condone train hopping? I don't really have a lot of opinion on it. In terms of, I presume you mean hopping on a freight train. It's potentially very dangerous. So actually, I can't really condone it, but I know it's a bigger thing in America. You basically literally take your life in your hands if you're going to ride on a freight car. So yeah, I can't really condone it, but I do know it goes on. Tommy Richards asks, is anyone here from the US? Yes, we normally do get quite a few people in. John Nutman, hello to you. James Carroll. Okay, Jenny, time to tear your layout out and build in the garden to keep up with New Junction. Yes, I have seen he's short of a bit of track, but he's got an amazingly big garden actually. I'm very jealous of Richard's aka New Junction's garden. He's got a lot of space there. Alistair McCulliam says, it's Shanklin to Ventnor and the line to Newport that they were looking at reopening in the Isle of Wight. That could be awesome. Excellent. Big hello to Melchester Model Railway. Gosh. Shanghai 264359. Big hello to you. Melchester Model Railway says she may never catch up. Yeah, absolutely right. Let's have a look. Lettuce Trains, evening to you. Olivia Gabin, just one point of personal taste about wine. If you find some, try a bottle of Cremant d'Alsace. Anyway, nice 009 gyro. Thank you very much. Yeah, there are some great wines from around the world, and I'm more than happy to try them all. It's quite refreshing, actually. Although I must admit, I've just had a white chocolate Magnum, and if your palate has been exposed to something very, very sweet, this wine actually does taste a little bit bitter. So just a word of warning. Often what you eat immediately before consuming wine can have a very big direct influence on the taste. Jim JD Dowd, hello to you. The 33 looks good on the Pullman. I know, it's one of the reasons it stayed on that train. It does really work quite well. Lettuce Trains. Ooh, a Pullman observation car. Yeah, it was actually, I've had the Pullman observation car since they first came out. I remember paying, I think it was £30 or £35 for it, and thinking it was a jolly expensive coach. Now, I'll prefix that by saying that the Bachmann Mark 1s were about £16 each at the time. Let's have a look. Paul Hinder, hello to you. James Pett says, I approve of crumble. Well, I know, the Cupboard Monkey makes a wicked crumble. Haven Rail, LOL, just had the plaster bandages delivered for the hills, opened one up, thought the polystyrene made a mess. Yeah, but the plaster will very quickly change things. And the secret, the key with when you're doing the plaster bandages is have everything prepped. And I normally cut those plaster bandages up, pre-cut them, because once you're covered in plaster, messing about with the scissors is just a hiding to nothing. So I pre-cut them into the sizes I want. Sometimes I'll cut them up into multiple different sizes. You have the big bits for when you're doing a big area, but when you want to get more intricate, I like to have a little pile of the smaller bits ready, just to be able to grab, dunk, stick. Huey's train layout, good evening to you. Mark Holt has a Captain Tom order, so there are a lot of people who have got them ordered. Let's have a look. Big hello to Ian Ryan, Peaks47, hi to you. Ham Shackleton, oh, I appear to be up to date. Leslie Gilpin says, Haven Rail, soak first. I soak as I go. I have a little tray with the water in, pre-cut the bandage, and then it's like grab a sheet, dunk, you sort of like swoosh it, let it drip and shake, stick to the layout, work it in. Next sheet, dunk, drip, 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 stick, work. And that's how I found actually worked the best. I know that Les, aka Not Lobia Model World, that's kind of how he seems to do it as well. Simon A.C. Martin as well, I've watched him work. And it does seem to be a very natural, very easy way of doing it. And that way, you're not wetting plaster and then finding it just starts to dissolve into the water, which is what can happen if you just pre-dunk everything. Also, you may find that you pre-dunk too much plaster, and if you've pre-cut the strips and then only dunk them as you use them, you only use exactly what you need to use. Huey's train layout says, yeah, plonky journey, lol. Big hello to 57305 Northern Princess. And is it Cupboard Monkey incoming? I managed to get the very last pack of GWR Mark III sleepers from Kerno, and now looks beautiful to have a full set next to my 57s. Just need Kerno to do a first Great Western set of the day coaches. Hopefully they will do them in time. I'm good for now actually, but thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Skipsy Trains. Mrs. Skipsy said, did Monday nightclub reduce from 3 to 2 hours because you can drink a bottle of Carver in 2 hours? Brackets, she can. I can drink it quicker than 2 hours, believe me, but I'm trying to pace myself because I will otherwise end up like, yeah, I love you. Oh, hello, Floor. But no, we reduced it actually because I felt that 3 hours was a little bit too much. I was putting out an awful lot of video content, and it's almost like you can end up having too much of a good thing. So I reduced the Monday Club to 2 hours, and I feel it works a little bit better. I know some people like the longer format, but I think it's certainly easier to do, and I was starting to flag a little bit with the amount of video content I was doing. That is quite a good Carver. So what do we got? It's somewhere near the city of Barcelona. Apparently is where this one comes from. So we're on glass number 2. I can feel it, feeling it going straight to my head. I haven't had alcohol in about 2, maybe 3 weeks. So as you can imagine, the old tolerance is a little bit rusty, shall we say. Adams Railway says, is Zoe going to the shops? I could murder a lion bar. No, she isn't actually. I nipped to the shops earlier on. One thing I would say, though, is that if you've ever tried the white chocolate lion bars, oh yes, they are very, very nice. Chris Hales, Heritage Railway, hi to you. Otis JB, hello to you. You say, hello Jenny, long time no see. It has to be at least 3 months since I tuned in. Missed you and everyone lost. Oh my word, well welcome back. You know, always welcome back in. I know there's a few people come and go as and when. Sometimes it's not convenient to watch live, so hopefully you guys do still catch up with the after stream show where it kind of just becomes an ordinary video, and certainly always do appreciate. Don't forget to tickle that like button and share the stream as well. Let everybody know that they are more than welcome to join in on the Monday Club. It really is great to have you all in. It's getting quite warm up here. I know a lot of people say, doesn't it get awfully hot? You are, after all, in a loft with slates on the outside, which are quite a dark colour, so do absorb the sun. But the insulation, one of the things insulation is very good at is insulating you from the heat generated. So It does still get warm up here, but not to the point where it's like being cooked alive. But it is still a bit warm, it has to be said. Mike O'Brien, Jenny on the wine stream, end in chaos. Yes, it would. It'd be like, hello, Flo, I love you. Very refreshing, but also it's very hot up here, which doesn't help. Yeah, Leslie Gilpin says, Manuela, I'm from Barcelona. I learned the English from a book. I know nothing. Faulty Towers, great sitcom. Gonads 1259, big evening to you. Otis JB says, also, everyone liked this stream. Yeah, tickle that like button. Just over a third of you are awful. Has anybody clicked the dislike button yet? I always find it amusing when the people who I'm living rent-free in the heads of go, oh, I don't like you. Oh, you're being successful on the internet. I think that's the thoughts that go through their head as they sit in their parents' basement. Bob Patterson, oh right, sorry, you're answering somebody else. Broughton MCR, good evening to everyone. Good evening to you, welcome aboard. Kelly Ashford, I had to re-begin. I'm here now. I know that the internet is taking quite a pounding at the moment, because obviously a lot of people still stuck at home. So, I mean, Netflix is like cashing it in, guessing Sky and that is as well. But certainly a lot more people on the internet. So our internet connection has flaked a little bit more often over the last 2-3 months. Ben Tullett says, my shed gets very warm in the summer, but very cold in the winter. Insulation is the key. It covers you for both ends of the year. Insulation will help keep the temperature in your shed much more even, but it will also help to reduce the heat build-up in summer. The other thing as well with sheds with roofing felt on is get yourself some solar reflective paint. Now the solar reflective paint does two important jobs. The first one is exactly what it says it does. It reflects the sun's heat. So it makes the roof of your shed more reflective, less heat build-up, keeping the inside warm. But it also stops the roofing felt from expanding and contracting, and it sticks all the little bobbly bits on as well. So it reduces the solar degradation of the roofing felt and makes it last longer as well. So actually solar paint pays for itself in the extra life it gives to your shed roof, as much as it makes it a much more comfortable environment inside. Kelly Ashford, hello to you. A.D. Pullen, aha, yes. Rails of Sheffield North Eastern Railway electric autocar looks fantastic, but I feel a little dear in my opinion. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's unfortunately specially commissioned items just are expensive now. It doesn't matter who is doing them. The problem is that these things cost a lot of money, and the retailers have to put a lot of money in up front for the tooling, research, that kind of thing. It is a very expensive business, and at the end of it, they're not a charity. They've got to recoup that. So I understand why it is the price it is, and when you look at stuff coming through from, say, Backlink, you know, £189.50 is the cheapest I've been able to find the C-Class, which is an old, I've got to get this word right, somebody did tell me how to pronounce it, amortized, which is a fancy, posh, pretentious word for basically they've recouped the cost of the research and development through the sales of the item. So once something is amortized, hoping I've got that word right, what it means is that you no longer have to set aside a portion of the selling price to offset what you paid in advance for the research and development, tooling costs, that kind of thing. Timbersurf says 158 people on, 65 likes, but no dislikes. Oh, that's a shame. Then the people who, all the little kiddies who were having a bit of a tantrum because they didn't like me have not been in yet. Peter Leyland, we'll be back in 10 minutes. Just have to drop Mrs. off at work. Don't worry about that. We'll be here waiting for you, getting absolutely tanked up on carbo. Gosh, I don't know whether I get funny or irritating as I get drunk, but I do feel slightly drunk. So, right, anyway, let's change the camera angle. Oops, no, wrong one. Oh, Doctor Who moment there. Let's have a look at Jablite Mountain. And actually, I did mention this last week. Jablite Mountain has been much improved with static grass. I never thought I'd be a convert to static grass. I have to say, I always poo-pooed static grass, and I'm guessing a lot of people do. But now that I've got to use it, it's like, whoa, this is great! You know, the improvement that static grass makes to terrain is amazing. But I think the thing about static grass, which I have found the best thing by far, is the way it covers up so much in the way of mistakes and grot underneath. You know, you can slap the landscape together because static grass is like a coat of paint. It hides so many sins. So yeah, I love my Warworld Scenic Static Grass applicator. It is an amazing tool. And I think if people said to me, if there was one tool that you could take with you to, say, if you'd have gone to do GMRC, what would it have been? If I'd be doing it now, I think I would probably say I'll just take the static grass applicator, because with that I can guarantee everything will look great. So yeah, let's have a look. Kelly Ashford, you're all glad to see me. We certainly are, actually. Always glad to see everybody who's in. Gonads 1259 does what it says on the tin. And it's the old Ron Seal advert. And then later on, John Smith's beer kind of took that and ran with it. It's the Ron Seal advert. Do you remember it? Ron Seal, one coat, rain protection. It coats in one coat and gives you rain protection. It does what it says on the tin. And gosh, I think were they 80s? I remember do you remember the Solvite adverts? Where they used wallpaper paste to stick a guy's boiler suit to a piece of wood. And then they just sort of like flew a helicopter with this piece of wood dangling, and this guy like, ah! And the other one was they knocked him on the piece of wood over the alligator pit and started stomping on the back. Maybe it's an age thing. Bob Patterson, I have to love you all, but it's 4:30 a.m. and I need to get a caffeine and do some radio work. Oh my word, gosh, yes, of course. You're in the land down under, and at 4:30 in the morning, gosh, that is beddy time. But certainly, thanks for joining us, and don't forget as well that you can catch up on the rewind once all this is up. I'm going all radio speak now. Yeah, not half. Oh yeah, pop-tastic, mate. Yeah, and we're now going on the rewind back to 4:30 in the morning, and we're gonna play a Stone Cold banging classic. Oh yeah, let's cue and go. I'm really drunk now. Really drunk. I think it's the hot weather. Derek Grant, you're paying rent, you're not rent free. Just now, Jenny, on the dislikes. Oh, fine, well, but it's probably somebody really contrary going, alright, you want a dislike, I'll give you one. I jest, actually, I do jest. It's one of the things that you find when you're in the public eye, is that a very small minority can't seem to cope with that. I talked with, I think it was Dick Strawbridge about this, and he says it's something that you have to come to terms with, that there's always haters. Haters gonna hate, I think is the line in the, what's her name? Taylor Swift. Is it Shake It Off? It's like haters gonna hate. And it's absolutely true, unfortunately. And yeah, the more in the limelight you get, the more the hate comes in. Haven Rail, got a few engines now and chipped them. Want to take a forage into Soundburst, it's expensive, want to get it right. Any advice on where to start? I'm a big advocate of the Hornbeat TTS sound chips. In fact, funnily enough, there are 2 locomotives currently going round that are sound fitted. So, this This is the Hornby TTS Class 50. So it's just chugging round at the moment. So that's doing its thing. They're quite inexpensive. You can get them for about £34–35. And it's a really good way of dipping your toe in the world of DCC sound without breaking the bank. In fact, most of my sound chips are TTS sound because you don't have to fit them in the applicable locomotive. So, for example, Class 50 sound chip in the Hornby Class 50, but if you have the Helgen DP2, there you go. There's your sound chip to try out on it. Right, I'm going to turn her off, and then that is quite piercing, is it not? And that is Flying Scotsman, again on a TTS sound chip. This one came to the channel courtesy of Tim's Trains, so a really big thank you for that. And it's again fitted with the A3 TTS sound chip. I think it's A3. And again, you know, it's for. There's a variety of different sounds, but I'll be honest with you, what I found is dip your toe in the water with some TTS sound chips. If you like them, great, go from there. I find they get very repetitive very quickly, so I don't tend to use the sound an awful lot. But that's just me. Some people I know absolutely love it. So it's horses for courses, but certainly TTS, great dip in the water. Norman Rowe, oh yes, Norman Rowe says amortized. Yeah, amortized. What did I say? I can't remember what I said. Otis JB says, will you be getting the new London and South Western Railway DAPL B4? Also, have you returned your water tower? No, for the water tower, yes, for the B4. Now, you'll be seeing going round, I do have London and South Western Railway Peacock Green liveried number 91 from the previous batch. Just recently managed to DCC fit it. Be very careful when you do. I have Guernsey on order, which if you're not aware, go and have a look at photographs of that. And I defy you not to fall in love with that locomotive and go and order one. It is so beautiful. Guernsey in the lined dark green livery. Now I'm going to move to the roving cam when that comes up. Yep, there we go. So there's the 009 diorama. And I'm not going to snag the cable. So coming round here, this is my B4 in the London and South Western Railway P Green. There with the Hornby London and South Western Railway Warner brake van. And it's a lovely locomotive, and you can see it's silky smooth, absolutely nothing to report of a problem with it. Absolutely great runner. Love this locomotive, and it's going to be joined by Guernsey. So I am already a fan of the B4 dock tanks. Let me just put that back over there. Just see, and then you just see it going around in the background. But yeah, I am getting Guernsey, and really looking forward to it. I've ordered it, but there is a backlog at the moment, so I have one that is allocated to me but not yet here. Haven Rail, got a few engines. Oh, sorry, I've just read that one. Kelly Ashford, I suppose Jenny is glad she doesn't have a ghostly grey steamy. I suppose I might have scared her out of her wits. Oh my word. Olivia Gabin, agreed with insulation. My flat have a good one, and I can withstand 30 degrees C summers with no problems. I was cooking in my flat before the insulation was remade some years ago. Yeah, good insulation keeps your house cool in summer as much as it keeps it warm in winter. So, you know, I cannot praise insulation more highly. Insulation, I go over the top. Actually, no, it's not really over the top, but I do go in a big way for insulation. A big fan of insulation. And this is mostly because I figure if I'm going to be paying to heat a house in winter, I don't want that heat to escape. So, you know, make sure it stays in. And fringe benefits, everything keeps cooler in summer. Melchester Model Railway. I just pre-ordered the Oxford Rail breakdown crane. Can't believe it's only £17. I think that price is subject to revision, but bear in mind that with the Bosch Buster coming in at sub £50, I don't expect that breakdown crane to go above £50. But £17 does sound a little bit on the cheap side. I totally agree with you. I think by the time it comes out, we're going to see that price rise, but nowhere near by as much as the Bachmann one is. And actually already seeing the Bachmann one appear in sales, I don't think it's been a great seller because, quite frankly, it is overpriced. And I'm going to put that out there. You know, I'm normally pretty, you know, obviously a little bit of the old lubrication here, so you're getting a little bit what I really think. I think that Bachmann have pitched that one a little bit high, and we're going to see some more deeper discounts on it. I think the risk is, though, that we're not going to see another production run anytime soon of the breakdown crane as a result. But yes, I am looking forward to the Oxford Rail breakdown crane, and will be getting some of those. Mini Wistaston Junction. I was just saying hello to Norman. Robert Ward, hello to you. And say hope all is well. It is absolutely, yeah. Apart from the fact that I'm a little bit warm up here and slightly sloshed. Ham Shackleton, yeah, Hornby TTS, the cheapest sound, about £35 a chip. Absolutely. And be creative, right? The thing about the TTS sound chips, especially when you come to steam locomotives, it's the number of cylinders. So, for example, the J36 sound chip is perfect for any two-cylinder locomotive with an L&ER area whistle. So the J36 sound chip is probably one of the most useful TTS sound chips if you can get your hands on it. I would also suggest that the Princess Coronation sound chips as well, quite useful for LMS locomotives. Certainly, it's the number of cylinders and the sound of the whistle. They're the two important things. You can then pretty much mix and match. Diesel locomotives, probably a little bit pickier. I would kill for them to bring out what I really want Hornby to bring out. TTS sound chips, and bear in mind they'll probably only do these for locomotives that they have in their railroad range or the main range. So I really want to see class 42, class 52, and what was the other one that they do? They're two biggies. Oh, class 25. If they brought out class 25, class 42, class 52, they would clean up. With the class 25 alone, and they would clean up. And I would certainly buy them by the handful. I'm behind. I'm absolutely behind the comments. Kelly Ashby says, I scared Sam out of his wits with a ghost train request on his stream. Now it's interesting, if we can get Simon A.C. Martin here in the flesh at some point out after lockdown, I know he will probably bring the ghost train set that he custom adapted from a Thomas and Percy train sets for GMRC semi-finals. The Percy one, I think he is completely rebuilt into an actual industrial locomotive, but I believe that the Thomas one may still be out and about. John A. Dawson, hello Jenny, and hello to everyone else. A big hello to you. Timber Surf, I want the other crane Melchester, but can't believe it's £17 with a nought on the end. It's not going to be £170. Now I have spoken on and off to Scott Rhodes from Oxford Rail. And my understanding is that the price that's out there was an estimate price that was put out there because retailers just wanted a price to be able to put up. But the general consensus amongst retailers, and the gist I get from Oxford Rail as well, is that it will be revised upwards, but nowhere near the level of the Bachmann one. And I suspect that you may well find somewhere in the £50 region, maybe under £50, don't know by how much, but £17 does seem very, very cheap for that. 57305, where's the TARDIS this week? That is a very good question, actually. Where is the TARDIS? Ah. Normally the cupboard monkey moves it around. Oh. I really don't know, to be honest with you. I'll have to ask the cupboard monkey where she's put it. We've got 176 people in the chat. A big hello to everybody. I do apologise for being slightly sloshed. Haven't had alcohol in about 3 weeks. It's something I've been trying to avoid during lockdown. But today I just really fancied a nice, cool, refreshing glass of Spanish Cava, which I do prefer actually. Of all of the champagne alikes, I do think that Cava offers the best taste and value for money. Oh, that is quite a nice one. Very refreshing. Aiden's Railways. Hi everyone, smash that like. Boom! Brilliant news, and big hello to you too. Christopher McDonald, hello from East Yorkshire. First time watching it, love it, thank you. Aha, the People's Republic of Yorkshire. Yes, my half of my family are from the Cottingham and Holderness coastline area. So that is certainly an area that I know very well and do love. Even though very few of my family still live over that way, it's certainly an area which growing up, the farm actually that my great aunt and uncle owned, big family farm. Spent a lot of time there over the summers, really enjoyed that. You know, I think it's still in the family, but certainly love that part of the world. And also your local model shop, I believe, will be 53A Models in Hessel Road in Hull. Certainly still there last time I passed through, and its local model shop, do support them because they were a favourite of mine when I was younger. I used to always go in there. Going down to 12.59. Hornby seem to ration the TTS chips. Cannot get a Class 47 TTS chip from Hornby now. Yeah, they come and they go very, very quickly. I think it's because they sell exceptionally well. There is a huge pent-up demand for bargain sound chips, and they are really, really good. I cannot praise them more highly. I think the best value for money of any sound chip is the Hornby TTS chips. They're a good, solid chip. Yes, they don't have the functions that your expensive £120, £150 plus sound chips have, but for 35 quid, come on, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. And they do sound like generally how they're supposed to. So, yeah, I think they produce a batch, they sell out quick. The Class 47 chip, I have one, and it is in, I don't know whether you can see it. There's the Somerset Andy, who was very, very kind enough to send me the Class 47, their Firefly, the Batman one. It's been fitted with a Hornby TTS sound chip, and I do apologise if you're in the chat room. I cannot for the life of me remember who it was who sent me the sound chip to go in there, but they just posted it to me. Amazingly kind of them, but it was united with the Class 47, and that is the only Hornby TTS Class 47 chip that I've ever been able to clap eyes on. Quite honestly, you're absolutely right. They're like gold dust. When you've got to basically keep your ear to the ground as to when they're coming out. So, for example, the J36 one's gone because they're so useful for so many other classes of locomotive. And actually, when the Oxford Rail J27s and later on the J26s come out, I can see the J36 TTS sound chip getting a new market of people who really, really want that to fit to that model. I don't have any spares, unfortunately. Now, I do have a duplicate J36 down there with a sound chip in, factory fitted, and I'd really love to pilfer the sound chip out of it, but I promised somebody that I would let them have it complete with sound. And they are a very, very... foaming over. And they are a really good friend, so I can't mess them about. But yeah, the Class 8 sound chips, in fact, let's just... Here we are. I don't know if you can hear that starting up. The Class 8 sound chip as well is really, really good. There we are. We can just run. And that is a Hornby Class 8. Let's get a good close look at her, actually. So we'll go to the roving cam. Just be careful not to knock over my my booze. So there we are, Piccadilly. Is this camera actually going to focus at any point? It seems focused on the back scene. It's most strange. I guess it's not expecting things to be that close. But that is a Hornby Class 8. It was in the range probably about 3 years ago, something like that. But she is, the sound chips are great. Apparently you can fit them into the Bachmann locomotives, but they do require a bit of jiggery pokery. I've never tried it myself, it has to be said. So, right. Let me just move that out of the way, and let's go to that camera just for a bit of a change. So you'll just be seeing the Flying Scotsman hoving past again. Very, very grateful to Tim's Trains for sending that to the channel, along with the Bachmann C-Class number 583 in SECR, fully lined livery, and the J36 moored in North British Railway livery. So cannot thank you more highly. Big thank you for that. I think I'm again very behind on the comments. So Kelly Ashford says Scotty's on the run. Didn't see her at first. Oh yeah. Flymo Chairman 1, static grass, the wood chip of the modelling hobbyist. Yeah, once you've tried static grass, you never go back. Again, a big thank you to our sponsor, Wall World Scenics. They sent me over a static grass applicator, and above board and honest, got to admit it, they sent me it, didn't charge me a penny for it, and it is such an amazing thing. If you even remotely think that static grass is not for you, you are wrong. I have to say you are wrong. And yes, you can get a reasonable looking effect without a static grass applicator. There's ways and means, doesn't look too bad. You look at it and you think, yeah, I've done all right there. As soon as you get a static grass applicator, you never look back. And it's so easy to apply. I would argue that a static grass applicator makes it easier to apply grass over your terrain than normal methods, where you just sort of sprinkle and do your thing. Easier, faster, and the effects are better. I can't speak more highly of a static grass applicator. Melchester Model Railway. Yes, Timber. Oh, you're replying to Timber, sir. I've missed a comment there somewhere. Really sorry. Ham Shackleton says, my computer is being silly. The picture is very slowly drifting up, so Jenny is going headless. Have to keep dragging the slider bar back down. That's very strange. Maybe that's an issue with your mouse, perhaps. Going out to 12:59, they wallpapered a steam engine as well. Actually, I think that was an advert for Solvite wallpaper paste, and that was at the Keighley and Worth Valley Railway. And apparently, by all accounts, the Keighley and Worth Valley Railway thought, this is a great deal, we're getting paid to do this, it's great, it'll help put the money towards the refurbishment, various things, bish bash posh. And apparently the wallpaper proved really hard to get back off afterwards. If you look up on YouTube, you can find that advert. Ben Davis, hi Jennifer Kirk. Sadly, my Rails of Sheffield Terrier did work amazing, but sadly the details was broken. That is a shame. Unfortunately, there's always going to be quality control failures. All I can say is that from what I've heard, where people have had issues, Rails have sorted them very quickly, hassle-free. So the aftercare, as it were, the after service is often as important as the product itself, and Rails, from what I've seen, have been exemplary with that. So really sorry that you've had that. I mean, mine has been, I don't know where, I was up there somewhere. Mine's been perfect, it has to be said. And from what I gather, obviously most people's have. So unfortunately, there are going to be a few quality control ones that slip through. But that comes from all manufacturers. Rails are no different in that respect. Let's have a look. Yeah, Leslie Gilpin, absolutely right. Early Solviters was wallpapering the boiler of a Blackfriar. How I think they did the cylinders and everything as well. Gamehammer Classic Gaming, absolutely right. Jenny's going headless. I thought she was legless. Yeah, I've got a ladder to climb down from here afterwards. I have to be super careful. Now, luckily, when I get drunk, it's like there's a sober person inside going, "Help, help, somebody got the controls." So I'm very much aware when I'm drunk, and I try and, basically just go, right, okay, we're being a bit of a prat here. We just got to, like, throttle back, not try and do anything too much. Norman Road. Jenny is getting buzzed, gazeboed. Basically, posh people can take any word and take it to mean drunk. So I am absolutely and utterly static grassed. I am as well. It's gone straight to my head. Kevin ZZ said drunk on one glass. That's number 3, mate. Hardcore. Actually, no, I'm softcore. I am total softcore lightweight. Always have been, always will be. I'm a very cheap date with a bottle of wine, it has to be said. Ben Davis asks, "Hi Jennifer Kirk, did you look at Rails of Sheffield deal for the bank holidays?" Yes, I did. I had a look through it and, oh, you're having a bank holiday sale. Ooh, look. And it's, like that thing where you were like doing football cards as a kid. It's like got, need, want. And I went through and pretty much everything that they had there, I went, oh, I like that. I already had. Maybe it's testament to the fact that I got too much stuff. But certainly there were some great deals there. One of the ones that did catch my eye was the London and North Western Railway, the Webb coal tank. Kind of like the idea of one of them in the London and North Western Railway black livery. But, excuse me, I've already got a BR liveried one. And there's a part of me thinking, now come on, hold on, behave yourself. There's other stuff as well that you really do want to put your money on. And it is one of the things, I have to say, in the back of my mind, my want list, I've got like core prime wants. And then I've got other stuff where it's like, yeah, it might be nice if it came along at the right price. And then other stuff, it's just like, oh, shiny. And you buy it and you think, what the hell did I buy this for? But for me, a Hornby Super Detail Stanier 8F with DCC ready, but in BR black. Number not necessarily important, but in BR black. That is right up there on, like, Jenny Prime list, the Jenny Prime list of things that I want. Class 56 in what I always refer to as small logo blue from Hornby, the Super Detail one. Would love one of those. Also a rebuilt Merchant Navy and or West Country class. That too is on my must-have list. Outside of that, I think everything else kind of falls into the either ooh shiny or yeah, the right price. I could get interested. And I don't know whether fortunately or unfortunately, I have a huge collection. Oh, Class 40 in BR Tops Blue. That is another one that is on my must-have list. But as for other things, I've largely managed to complete my core collection, as it were. I have a thing where I like at least one member of certain classes. I'm looking. You can't see them because they're. In fact, come on, let's get the roving cam out and about. Whilst I still have the power of speech and the ability to stand. Up here, these are my collection of locomotives. So you can see that I'm quite well provided for when it comes to locomotives to run on Weir Yard. And I'm just snagged a bit there. I can't get this any higher, but you can just about see the roofs of the DMUs and stuff. And then this shelf does just keep going right over to that corner. But that, of course, is not everything, because up here there's even more. Lots and lots more. And if I go over here, there's my Locomotive TMD, so we can see there are a lot of locomotives on the layout. Let's give you a full layout tour. Oops, what did I just stand on? Oh, ah. So there is a lot going on, and there are some more locomotives over here, and there actually is, let me just, there is my water tower. Now, the thing about the water tower, somebody did say earlier on about, have you sent your water tower back? I haven't, and the reason that I haven't is quite simply because if you run it on DC at less than, you don't want to see my big fat belly, at DC less than 10 volts, absolutely fine. The problem appears to be an electrolytic capacitor in there that's only rated to 10 volts. So, when you connect it to either 12 volts DC or 16 volts AC, eventually, sooner or later, it goes bang. And when I say it goes bang, electrolytic capacitors, when they explode, when they fail, the reason that they explode is, in fact, actually, I'm going to show you an electrolytic capacitor. I'm not going to blow it up because I'm not stupid. Honestly, I know that I give that the impression otherwise. But right, this here is my capacitor discharge unit, and a little bit out of focus. That there is an electrolytic capacitor, and I don't know whether it's visible or not. This camera isn't showing it up, but on the top. Now, it doesn't want to show it in this light from my screen. The top basically blows out, and what you get inside an electrolytic capacitor, if you've never seen inside one, effectively what it actually is it's like a Swiss roll, and you have a very thin metal sheet, like a bit like baking foil, and it's imagine a long strip of baking foil on top of a piece of very thin paper. And then if you roll that up into a Swiss roll, keep rolling it up nice and tight, nice and tight, nice and tight, and then you connect you connect up either end of the foil, you've got to then, how does it work? I think there's more than just one strip of foil. There's two strips of foil and two strips of cardboard. So effectively, one terminal of the electrolytic capacitor is not physically connected to the other. But there is an electrolyte. I can't remember what the chemical is, but that paper is soaked in a liquid of some description. It's a special liquid. And what that means is that current can flow between one bit of foil and the other. And because it's all wrapped up, it can store a lot of charge. If you overpower an electrolytic capacitor, it will overheat. You will literally boil the electrolyte. And it explodes because if you boil a liquid inside an enclosed space, it evaporates. And the evaporated liquid takes up a lot more space than the liquid did. And therefore pressure builds up and they explode. And when they explode, they tend to vomit out their insides everywhere as well. And that's effectively what's happening. God, I must be so drunk to be explaining electrolytic capacitor explosions to people, but hey. Kevin ZZ, drunk on one glass, it has been known. Otis JB, also, we'll have to be getting the Northeastern Railway autocar. It looks so lovely, but 200 quid really. Even Bachmann of all companies, can do a Cali 812 commission for the same price. I'm looking forward, actually. The Northeastern Railway autocar. I know what you mean, but unfortunately, I think that's just the way the prices are going. Rails of Sheffield aren't a charity. Neither are Bachmann or Helgen or Daypol or Hornby, any of these people, or Hattons or Kerner Model Centre. They do this because that's how they make their living. And the £200 price mark allows that. They can't sell it for less. They won't make any money. So what's the point of them doing that? So I believe it's a fair price, but it is a very specialist item. And it's not going to be a huge seller by any stretch of the imagination. Even if they were charging, say, £100 or even £50 a pop, they're not going to sell enough to make it justifiable at that price, or even commercially successful at that price. It's just the way it is. Ian Ryan, Artex, Nature's Stalactites. Oh god, you ever tried removing Artex from a ceiling? It ain't happening. Adams Railway. Game Howard Classic Gaming. I don't envy you having to get her down from the loft. Melchester Model Railway says, Zoe, you're going to have to come and intervene. I wish you're going to have to bring something to soak up the alcohol. I think I need a bag of crisps or something. But this is what a lot of people find it quite funny when I get slightly tipsy. Now, I don't get roaringly drunk. I just get slightly tipsy. And this is another reason to only go for 2 hours instead of 3. Is that basically at 3 hours I'd be like, yeah. But hey, right, anyway, quite like game face, serious face. Haven Rail. I have 3 layers and I have double aluminium bubble foil insulation for all the walls and roof in the shed. Works brilliantly, not very expensive. Just check it out on Amazon. Yeah, actually, that is a really great way of adding insulation to tight spaces. I would say it's not necessarily as effective as your rock wall. You get a good depth of rock wall, and the rock wall as well will act as quite good sound insulation as well, which can be quite useful because if you're going to be hammering or whatever into the night, it is a good idea to stop that sound from escaping and going wild, because you'll annoy your neighbours as much as anything else. Gonads 1259 says, and I guess I'd say heat and wine is a good mix for joviality. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right on that. Why won't it let me view? Why can't I look at the older comments? Coddesmore. Big hello to you, Coddesmore. Great to have you in. If you take a look at Roads and Rails, they've just posted a video that demonstrates half the battle is the speaker you use. That's what lets TTS down. That is absolutely true, actually. Some of the TTS speakers, the one that comes with the Class 20 chip, is quite good. But yes, I totally agree with you. Kelly Ashford, Jenny, you made my day. Keep her sound on. I love it. Oh, thank you very much. Oliver Gabbin. Just in case, what works for hangovers is ibuprofen plus paracetamol. Swallow the glass of sparkling water. Perrier is a good choice. Actually, no, a can of energy drink. It's vitamin B complex is what you need that stops you getting a hangover. There's something going wrong with the comments. I can't keep up here. It's actually just removing the old comments, which is really strange. Naive Gauge, big hello to you. My first sound chip is a Digitrax. So it's still one on the shelf waiting to brave to installing it in a non-DCC ready Duchess. It is not as bad as you think, believe me. Russell Benton, prefer to hear the sound of stock going over the rails rather than artificial sound. By far the worst is shipping Class 20s. I know, funny enough, the Hornby TTS Class 20 chip, I think is one of their best. It has to be said, that's my opinion. Oliver Gabin, about the bit I daypooled before, they made a better batch than the first ones. I'm waiting for my debit card period in 48 hours to buy me one. I don't know. I've spoken to Daypol actually. It's one of the things which I still don't know why they talk direct to me. It's like why when I ask questions does Daypol and actually Hornby as well and a few other companies go, yes Jenny, here's the answer to your question. But I spoke to Daypol and they said as far as they're aware, there's no changes to the actual design of the B4 from the previous batch. So one thing I will say is when you DCC fit it, take great care. It will punish you if you make a false move when DCC fitting it. For most people, buy it factory fitted with a DCC. Just simply don't even go there. If like me, you're a glutton for punishment and you're going to be filming a DCC fitting guide for it, I actually recommend the Trainomatic 6-pin wired decoder because it's quite a tight space. Right, Gonads 1259 says, whoa, I'm getting motion dizziness. Leslie Gilpin, I don't fit sound decoders, too fiddly in my stock, easy to bite the bullet and pay for ready fitted. Haven Rail says, thanks for all the advice on sound. I think I might get a Black 5 and try the Hornby TTS decoder. It's a good value for money. Kelly Ashford says, please turn Scotty's sound back on. Love it. Scotty. Which one's Scotty? Oh, Flying Scotsman. There we are. Right. Ronald Morritt. Hey, Jay, I'm going to go bravely into the world of DCC, going to buy a Gauge Master Prodigy 3 off Evil Bay tomorrow. I'll be honest, the thing that's actually ended up being most impressed me on DCC is quite simply the ease with which you can just have all your locomotives on the track. You don't need all those insulating sections, and that's been the big sell for me. WW Scenics, a big hello to you, Martin. WW Scenics, War World Scenics is the sponsor. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to turn that off. It is quite loud. War World Scenics is our sponsor of the Monday Club live stream, and as I said at the beginning, genuinely, this is not me just doing the corporate thing. I genuinely love the static grass applicator. It's like, where has this been all my life? Static grass applicator has just made a massive difference to the ease with which I can make stuff. In terms of when you see the diorama on Wednesday's video and next Friday's, where I incorporate it into the layout, the difference it makes is amazing, including things like being able to do flowers for the first time, like proper flowers. It's very difficult to show you on these little cameras, but believe me, it is wonderful. Otis JB, yes, I remember your Fab B4 review from a few years back, and someday I will have to get Guernsey or the pea green one. I want to get some pre-orders in first, like the W1, before they all go out of stock. Very much so, but I will say, Guernsey is selling incredibly well. I spoke to Oliver Davies at Rails, and he says that pretty much is the sleeper hit. If you want a Guernsey B4 dock tank, buy it now or you will forever miss out. It's as simple as that. Guernsey is going to sell out. I'm going to put my money on the line and say that is the sleeper hit for the current batch of Daypol B4s. Andy 1962, sadly also true, Cottesmore, once you experience low amount, it's, they're all going off the top. Naive Gage says, haha, never drink and stream. Apparently, according to Ollie Symes, just sent me a message, might be an idea to skip to the bottom, you're about 200 messages behind. Okay, right, if you've asked a question, oh god, you weren't kidding. If you've asked a question and I've not answered it, it's not because I'm ignoring you, it's just simply because I got so far behind. But Wardle Roan, Scrapline, I'll drop you a message after the stream. No idea what you've been asking. J. Paul Anderson, Jen, we need to see a Bulliard in front of the Devon bow. I do have a Bulliard, an unrebuilt spam cam. Unfortunately, it won't pull that rake of coaches, it just skids and skids and skids. Right. John Nutman asks, has the new Class 50 got traction tyres? No, it doesn't actually. It really doesn't. Ham Shackleton, Jen's about 35 minutes behind on the chat. Aha, not anymore. But I've probably missed loads of comments. So if you've asked any questions and I haven't answered because I've just got to suddenly skip to the end, ask it again, do please. Because I'm not ignoring you. It's just simply I get carried away. Elton Loveridge, all the model company are getting pricey. Cannot see why old tooling models are over the top. Yeah, Bachmann have kind of fallen foul of this, bringing out some old models. The grain wagons, especially, just what's effectively quite, I think, too expensive. Right. Melchester Model Railway says, Jenny's not as behind as IC82. He's catching up on mail that's 5 years old. I know, I've seen he's been putting some stuff up. Kelly Ashford's asked something. Am I going to hear the beauty sound of Scotty? Yes. It is a bit loud, though, and off-putting to me, so I will turn it off in a moment. Peter Leyland says, love the 8F Freight Loco. I really want the Super Detail Hornby one in a BR livery. At the moment, the only one out there that I can find available brand new is the LMS livery. I'm not really as interested in that. As a kid, I had 3 of the 4 Hornby 008Fs. Never got 48094, but I know the numbers off by heart. If I could get a brand new Super Detail Hornby one in the guises of 48158, 48109 or 48073, would also accept 48094. That is my childhood. I would have that in a flash. Ham Shackleton, the real Scottish whistle is ridiculously feeble for such a big loco. I think it's got like a chime whistle these days, does it? J. Paul Anderson asks, Jenny, do you follow Luke Tower and loved his latest tree hut build? I don't actually. I must have to. I must go and have a look. Peter Leyland, Class 40s are nice. Built a few Springs branch depots for customers over the years. Route 40s. Yeah, I really want a BR Blue Class 40 with tops number, so I'm going to have to look out for one of those. Wardle Road. It's Wardle Road. You're the man. He actually sent me a messenger, so it dropped up on screen saying you're like 200 messages behind. Skip to the end. So yeah, if you've got a question, now's the time to ask. The scrap line, the Class 50 is 50002. I believe somebody did say at the beginning that's superb. And in fact, for the full mileage, there we are, bit of noise. There's the Class 50 on our Hornby TTS sound chip. The Growler Blackwood Engage layout, big hello to you. Yeah, Tim JD Dowds just answered which 50 it is. Keep calm, make stuff, says a bullion slipping? Never. Ben Davis, hi Jennifer, what do you think of the London South Western Railway B4 Sussex and Stewart and Lloyd's Limited Yellow? I'll be honest with you, that was the one I wanted to get until I saw Guernsey. So that would have been my second choice. I still would love to actually get it. I think it's a really vibrant colour. The photos I've seen on it, it's a great locomotive. So I'm going to have to turn some of these off because they're a little bit off-putting to me, I'm afraid. But there you are. You've had a little blast of Scotsman and a blast of the 50 as well. But yeah, Sussex, that's one I would have gone for. The pre-production mock-ups of Guernsey didn't actually look anything special, but when you see her in the flesh, she is amazing. Richard Swiderski says, hi Jenny, got a Janus Loco and Black and Bundle from Hatton's, great loco, ordered on Thursday PM, arrived Friday, well done to Hatton's. Yeah, it's a great package, I have to say, and even though I did that video in conjunction with Hatton's, I put it out there, I bought it. I like that pack so much, I bought it. Now, Hatton's don't send review samples for keeps, they're loaners. But I like that pack so much, I put my money where my mouth is, and I actually bought it. So I do still have the Janus pack, even though normally, as right when you do a review of a product from Hatton's, they always ask for it back. That one I just went, look, I just like, shut up and take my money, it's great. And it's one of the best mechanisms, actually. It's one of the things, I think it's the Oxford Rail Janus Shunter is an unsung hero of the mechanisms. Now, I've always said that the Helgen Class 5 has one of my favourite silky smooth mechanisms, but the Janus Shunter is certainly up there as well. And I do think that the prices that those shunters are available at the moment, any of you who do, for example, the Enwins 3D locomotive bodies, or the Hardy's Hobbies as well, another company that does 3D printed locomotive bodies, do consider the Janus Shunter as being a really great mechanism to go underneath some of those. And I think maybe it's flying a little bit underneath people's radars, and it deserves more love. Right. Going out to 12:59. Barry Davis was talking about quality on newer models versus older ones on his YouTube this morning. Newer models, there's definitely a lot more quality going on, and I think some of that is the advances in production. Quite simply, the production processes are improving all the time, especially things like tampo printing, and it really is amazing what they can achieve now that even like 5 years ago they couldn't. And when you look at, even some of the models which were considered absolutely amazing for their time, I've talked a little bit about 8F. The Hornby 00 8F was an incredible model, well ahead of its time, but it's just it doesn't stand up next to the Hornby Super Detail one. I'm sorry, but it doesn't. Kevin ZZ, after the next glass of wine, Jenny will need to have her phone right up to her eyes. Yes, I will. Connor Small, I'm surprised that 50 is running. The scrap line is not very prototypical. What, the 50 is actually working? I don't know, I think the 50s were reasonably reliable. Many with Stanton Junction. Hi, Somerset Andy. Oh, a big hello to Somerset Andy. We were talking about you actually. Your ears must have been burning. Big thank you for the Class 47 that you sent in for the channel, and at the moment it takes pride of place, and I'm going to show you because I feel honoured that you gave this to me. The Class 47, they're on the turntable. If I turn the handle, around she goes. Sorry, the handle, the camera bobs about when I do this because it's very difficult to hold the camera steady and wind a windy handle. So everybody is suitably motion sick now. Let me just. Sorry, I have OCD, so I have to get the turntable to a certain point, otherwise my OCD is like, you haven't put it in the right place, you haven't put it in the right place. What you doing? What you doing? Get back there, sort it out. Wash your hands whilst you're there. Huey's train layout, good night all, be safe. Good night to you, great to have you in, and don't forget that we've got videos coming up on Wednesday and Friday, and of course the Monday Club next Monday as well. Anfield Road, letting love. Hi Somerset Andy, a big hello. Somerset Andy, is great to have you in actually. I'm always honoured that you gave me that 47. Really feel humbled. They're both yourself, Tim's Trains as well as another who provided locomotives for the channel. In fact, it's Tim's Trains that's provided the Flying Scotsman that's currently going around. In fact, you've just seen it pass by on the camera. Let's change camera angle. So we should now see Flying Scotsman again. I feel humbled that you guys are willing to send me these things. So a big thank you to you. Rachel Houston says, Jenny, the Hornby Class 8 was amazing. Scotty sounds great. Thank you very much. It's a Hornby TTS sound chip, I have to say. Tim JD Dowd says, happy birthday, Donegal Dad. Happy birthday to you, Donegal Dad. Chris Gowell, 1959 says, a Class 40 in Tops Blue. Sorry, no, it has to be BR Green. I know what you mean. The green with the grey roof does actually suit it, but I've got a thing for Tops numbers and rail blue, I have to say. Don't get me wrong, I'd have both. But yeah. Otis JB, I'd love to see an interview with the head of Bachmann, ideally with the interviewer hammering him with questions about his ludicrous prices. He might combust with embarrassment. I don't know. I think Bachmann UK's hands are tied to a little degree with the demands from the parent company. Bachmann UK, I have said this before, don't seem to understand the value of things like social media advertising. So I've reached out to Bachmann quite a few times to answer questions, to even just stand up for themselves, to justify price increases, and they've never once got back to me. I work closely with pretty much every other manufacturer, even Helgen. They don't send review samples, but I've got an inside track for things like information press releases. Bachmann won't even give me that. They won't even send me press releases. And I'm sorry, but in terms of being a YouTube reviewer, I feel, it's not adversarial. And this is the thing, some YouTubers are very adversarial and they'll rip stuff to shreds, sometimes actually unfairly. I don't see my role as being that. I'm more about, being the impartial reviewer. But it's hard to ignore the price increases in Bachmann. Now, there may be a legitimate reason for some of this, and I would love somebody from Bachmann to say, yeah, I'll come on and I will justify those prices. That's what we need. What we want is like, okay, if you're going to charge that, justify it to us. Sell it to us. Tell us why that's worth that money and why it actually is, it has to be that price. Nobody's come forward. And I'm sorry, but, I've been willing all along to give somebody from Bachmann that platform. And I'll say it again, I will give Bachmann an unbiased platform to justify their huge price increases. Sell it to us, explain to us why it is necessary. And, we're happy with that, but nobody's ever come back to me. Otis JB, why did Oxford decide to make the J's? There are so many similar locos on the market, they aren't even making the pre-grouping example, which is exactly the same tooling, so confused. I think the Northeastern Railway version will come. I really do think it will come. The J27, what you've got to remember, right, on the 060 tender, the J locomotives, what have we actually had? We've had a J11 from Bachmann, we've had a J15 from Hornby, we've also had a J36 from Hornby, and we've had a J39 from Bachmann, which is an old split chassis model, and actually looks a little bit crude by modern standards. I do have one, I have DCC fitted it, it does work, but you know, the J39 is probably ripe for retooling. There were quite a lot of J numbered locomotives. I'm desperately actually trying to remember what the 060 with tender, what it went up to. I know that the tank locomotives, 060 tank locomotives started at J50, but certainly there's not as many as you might think. So what is it competing against? And actually, the closest rival would be the J36 or the J15, neither of which are Northeastern Railway locomotives. So right, the J11, Great Central Railway, J15, Great Eastern Railway, J39, is that a Northeast? I think that's a Northeastern Railway one, but it's really old tooling. So why would you go head to head with Bachmann with that old model that's loads on the market? Why not produce a locomotive that hasn't actually been produced ready to run? Same way that they did the N7 and not try to update the N2, which they used and all could just bring out at a moment's notice. So I'd respectfully disagree with you. I think the J27, there is a market for that. The J26, now I did an interview with Scott Rhodes and I asked him about this, and what he said was the J26 and the J27 are quite similar. So when they designed the J27 and the tooling, they designed it so that the same tooling can produce the J26, and that's why there's a J26 and J27 announced. It's as simple as that. So actually it's a stroke of genius when you think about it. It's what Bachmann probably should have done with the J72 and done the means to make the very similar J71. Why? Because they could, but they didn't. Oxford Rail have done exactly what I advocated with it Bachmann in the J72, and they have done the very similar J26 because they could. And by designing it into the tooling, why not? And I think it's a great idea, and I'm really excited and looking forward to those. So, respectfully, I disagree. I think the J26 and the J27 is actually probably a master move. Right. Cottesmore said, I asked them a few questions about the 158 before it's released at the Great Central Railway. She just walked off. Is this Bachmann? Yeah. Bachmann just don't get how everybody on YouTube, everybody who does YouTube videos, there's not just me, you know, there's Sam's Trains, there's Cottesmore, New Junction, Everard Junction, Wardle Road. We are, you can't get away from it, you know, maybe it sounds arrogant when I actually say it out loud. We are influencers, and, you know, I know from the sales figures with Rails of Sheffield, with Hattons, that it could, when I review a model, put up an affiliate link, I can track the people going through, and Hattons can tell me which of those people actually bought the product. Rails can as well. And I know that it works. And Bachmann are doing themselves a massive disservice by not working with YouTubers. It doesn't even need to cost them anything. Just blimmin' well talk to us. Send us press releases. It's like I said before, I am more than happy. I always give the right to reply, and I would love somebody from Bachmann to say, yeah, I'll come on and I will justify our prices. And I'm open-minded. If they come on and say, right, okay, our new version, say the C-Class, RRP is what, 200 quid or whatever. Whereas when it was first released, RRP 69 quid. The tooling should have been amortized by now. So I do have problems with that word. But here's the reasons why the prices had to shoot up. What we're paying to retain staff at the Chinese factory has gone up by a huge, massively above inflation amount. We have to retain the staff, otherwise they bog off over the road and build iPhones because the money's better if we don't match the money. So we have to do that. That pushes the prices up. Cost of this, blah-de-blah, blah-de-blah-de-blah. All of a sudden it's like, oh, well, actually, now you've explained it, that's fair enough. But they won't do that. Why won't they do that? And I'm sure that Cottesmore, New Junction, Sam's Trains, Wardle Row will all say the same thing. We'll give you a platform. You know, we're happy to give you an outlet to reach your market. These are the people, our audience are the people who buy your products. We'll work with you. Send us press releases. Tell us what's coming up. You know, why do you have to like, oh no, you can't have that. Why? Play it right. You do it. We will effectively help you to sell your product. Why do you think Hornby, Dapol, Oxford Rail, Helgen, all these different people, all these different manufacturers might have it send me press releases. Let me know what's coming up. You know, I get told in advance with something like Curascale as well. It's like, this is embargo to such and such time. Here's the details of our upcoming products, so you can be there on the ball, ready to go. Wow, look at this. Everybody else works with us. You know, I've talked with other YouTubers and say, yeah, you know, it's great. You know, these are the companies. Give us the information. We can make videos. We can promote their products, and it helps them as much as it helps us. Bachmann, Stonewall. Why? Why do they take that? I don't know. I don't understand Bachmann. I really don't. Because the funny thing is, when I spoke to Ken Patterson in the US, now Ken Patterson has a lot of deals with the American manufacturers, but of course, amongst them is Bachmann USA. Bachmann USA couldn't be more helpful. He works very closely with them. It's grand. Bachmann Europe, based in Barwell, it's like dealing with a different company. And, you know, Ken Patterson works closely with Bachmann in the US, helps promote the models, lets people know what's coming up, new models coming out, review those models, look, aren't these great, blah, 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 blah. Why doesn't Bachmann Europe work with YouTubers? It doesn't have to cost them anything. And I really don't know. Sorry, there's a bee in my bonnet. I'm going to, like, I'll unzip my head and let the bee out. Right, okay, let's move on. Oh. Oh, I'll get grief for that tomorrow. I'll get an email from Bachmann going, what are you doing? Why are you dissing us? Why are you dissing us? Actually, no, I won't. They don't do that. Right. I'm going to have to skip to the... I'm probably well behind. We've got 197 people in the chat. It's great to see you all. Don't forget to tickle that like button. Share the stream as well. Let other people know that you know, we're up and running. I know that the weather is great today. And actually, when I went out to the shop today, I smelled the barbecues. It really made me think, oh, I wish I was having a barbecue. So I completely understand there's a lot of people who'll be out enjoying it. Maybe come back, watch this on the rewind sort of thing. But right. Robert Ward says, Jenny, have you seen the latest Bachmann Collectors Club mag? Will you be purchasing that RTC liveried coach? I haven't. Actually, I'm not a member of the Bachmann Collectors Club. I do feel that perhaps I should be. I have intermittently over the years been a member of the Dapol Collectors Club, the Hornby Collectors Club, and the Bachmann Collectors Club. If anything, I've probably been a member of the Bachmann Collectors Club more than anything else. I was an avid member from 2001 right through to probably about 2012, and then I kind of lost interest in a way. It just one of those things. Maybe I should join just to keep up to date. I do think some of the models are quite expensive. Elton Loveridge says, what's everyone's thought on the Class 89 for OO gauge, and is anyone going to get one if it goes ahead? I think it's great. It's one of the... It's consistently rates highly in the wish list. So people are asking for that model. And it's nice to see that Rails of Sheffield have put their money where their mouth and gone, okay, in conjunction with a Curascale, and said, okay, always polls highly on the wish list. So put your money where your mouth is. And it's going to be an excellent model, a Curascale. I've not seen anything close to a lemon from them. Everything from them has been superb. And this comes from somebody who's not only reviewed their products that they have sent me, but also has bought their products. And I have not seen anything that is anything other than amazing quality. I would rate Acura Scale as certainly one of the most attention to detail seeking manufacturers there is. So it's going to be a great model. It's probably about that, and the AC electrics are about the only mainline diesels other than shunters left to do. So it's an obvious choice. AC electrics can be a bit of a tricky one, as Bachmann found with their Class 85, and it's like, the sales aren't necessarily as big as they might want. Now, the Bachmann Class 85 took a long time to get a second tranche of releases, although it did. It's certainly one that I bought, 85, I think it's 85026 in BR small logo blue. When it came out, really happy to get that, and disappointed in a way that it wasn't more successful, because if it had been successful, we might have seen some of the other classes. I was particularly keen on the Class 83, if only because some of those appeared in intercity livery. I think it's going to sell well, Flying Badger. It was a prototype. There was only ever 89001. There were no others. It was a demonstrator for the builders to try and get a contract. They never did. For a demonstrator, it was incredibly successful. It does survive. So I think it's going to sell really well. Will I get one? Not really my thing, it has to be said. Although, always a sucker for intercity livery. Let's have a look. Ham Shackleton says, I have a 12-inch to the foot kitty on my railway. She loves killing everything. Yeah, cats do that. Kelly Ashford asks, have you a manor in your collection? I don't, it has to be said. Right. Naive Gauge says, so before logging on this evening, I had to pull up the week's track lane because I forgot an insulated track line in the middle of my yard entry. That is a bit of a pain. Although you can slip them in with a little bit of blood, sweat and tears. You don't have to pull up absolutely everything, but yeah, I feel your frustration. Right, I may have to skip through these to get yeah, you send it. I mean, probably not going to be able to put up any videos this week, but certainly we'll save them for next week. Send your URLs to zoe@zoerobinson.com. FMR Station House, evening to you. Sorry, I'm late. I lost a fight with a blackberry bush. Oh, are they the spiky ones or not? But certainly, I can imagine. Scrapline says, nipping off. Catch you all later. Okay, you take care. Catch you later. Summers at Andy says, we all enjoy your channel, Jenny. Thank you very much. Ian Ryan says, what is TOPS numbers? Right, TOPS, Total Operation Processing Systems. What is an acronym? So when you look at a locomotive, when people refer to like classes, so like Class 8, Class 37, Class 47, Class 50, that is the first two digits of its number. They'll have a 5-digit number for locomotives. Certainly multiple units will have a 6-digit number, generally speaking. So for example, the Class 50 is 50002. Broken down, first two digits are the locomotive class. It's a Class 50. All Class 50s begin with Class 50. Class 8 begin with 08 because it's a Class 8 but needs a 5-digit number. The last 3 digits are the locomotive number within that class, and that's what TOPS is in a nutshell. Jack's Model Railway says, I am in the area of Bachmann's headquarters. Go and knock on their door and say, why won't you at least even just talk to YouTubers? They can help you. Kelly Ashford says, BR, LNER and LMS are great. GWR comes top of the heap. Nothing beats the crisp, sharp bark of Foxcote Manor hard at work. I know what you mean. GWR, really, really good. Luke Alford, model prices are going up much further than inflation is happening. Absolutely right, and it's why I continue to extend the invitation to Bachmann to get in touch, come on, explain why prices had to go up. And they've declined. Well, they haven't so much declined as just ignored me. Donegal Dad says, J94, yes it is, didn't notice my daughter sticking a message in. So a big happy birthday to Donegal Dad. So it's my grandfather's birthday coming up as well. I've just actually taken a card and bunged it through his letterbox. Yeah. Kevin ZZ, I've lost count of glasses. I feel like I'm sobering up. It's really weird. It's like I've gone through the moment of boozification. But yeah, I'm actually really loving the London and South Western Railway B4 dot tent. It's going round. Let's see if we can catch it on this camera as it comes round. It is a silky smooth runner, and the more it runs, the smoother it gets. And for an 040, I would actually rate certainly that B4. You're just seeing it coming into shot now as being one of the best performing 040 chassis locomotives I've seen. The more it runs, and I haven't run it a lot because I've only just in the last 3 or 4 days DCC fitted it for the first time ever, so it hasn't actually run a huge amount. I'm very impressed with it, to the point where I'm already, even before Guernsey turns up, considering buying more. It's becoming more of a favourite class than the, ex-Lancashire and Yorkshire pubs. I really love Lancashire and Yorkshire pubs, but actually the London South Western Railway, dock tank is very much becoming a firm favourite. Olivier Garbin says 2/3 of the bottle is gone as far as I can see. I'll hold that up. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, I'm nearly gone through an entire bottle, it has to be said. Donegal Dad said she's a big fan of Jenny. She got a photo with her at Wally last year. I do remember. Actually, there's a few people came up with a photo, but yeah, and it's something I always say. I always have a lot of time for people. If people take the time to watch my channel, subscribe to my channel, and watch my videos, then the least I can do is post photos, say hello, chat with people. So if you see me at model railway exhibitions, don't feel frightened. You can always come up and talk to me. I always give you the time of day. You might catch me in my sort of bemused and befuddled state. So you come up and go, "Hi Jenny," you might have to explain that you're one of the subscribers. The reason for that is because I don't necessarily know whether you're somebody that I know through like one of the manufacturers or whatever. You have to explain to me how you know me. But certainly do come up and say hello. I will always have time for you. Humanicity Junction, big hello to you. J. Paul Anderson, Jenny, do you think it's the Cater bosses in China or Bachmann UK setting these very high prices? I think that there's an element of Cater in China wanting a certain cutback, but certainly Bachmann UK do not help their cause by not engaging with people like YouTubers to explain themselves. There could well be, maybe there probably is a really good explanation where people will go, "Oh yeah, I see what you did there. Yeah. Oh, now you explained it. That makes sense. Okay, fine." But they haven't done that, so it just looks a little bit greedy. But all they had to do is explain themselves. Right, J94. We had a J94 from Hornby. Yes, and I did do, in conjunction with the regular video sponsors, Trainomatic, I have done, it's up on my channel, a full DCC fitting guide for the Hornby J94. It is such an easy job. I do encourage you, if you are DCC, do consider the Hornby J94. It's a great locomotive, actually, really good runner. DCC fitting is a doddle. Right. Olivier Gabin says you can also count on Oxford Rail. They made the great N7 after they botched their Adams radial and issues of their Dean Goods one-shot motors to be applied. I've got one of the. They did actually send me the Dean Goods, and actually I found it a good solid locomotive. It's not It's not the most detailed of locomotives, but it's a good, solid, value for money locomotive. The Janus Shunter, I actually think is the unsung hero of the Oxford Rail range. That is an amazing mechanism, and I think that they really should champion that more, because that is a great locomotive. I've just recently done a video on them. The N7, yeah, I totally agree with you. They really made a good model. I was unfortunate that I got a quality control dud first off, so the review did reflect that. And I felt a bit guilty actually afterwards. And when Oxford Rail reached out and said we'd love to meet you and chat with you at, I think it's at Alexandra Palace, I thought, oh god, they're going to give me grief for the N7 review, but give them their due. They said, look, we felt really embarrassed. But they then went away and said, we went back to the factory and we made sure that that fault could not occur on anybody else's model. And I thought, give them their due. They took the criticism on board and made the model better as a result. And I like that, I really did.
You drunk yet?
I am totally and utterly gazeboed, it has to be said.
Yes, but are you drunk?
Very much so. So I've started, so I've finished, so I'll get through the carver.
What's wrong with being drunk? Ask a glass of water.
Yeah. Do I come across as being like royal?
You're a little bit talkative.
Well, yeah, surely that helps on the live stream. Right, let's have a look.
Isn't she talkative, boys and girls? Yes, she is.
Somerset Andy says, I've been shocked with the amount of people that have had problems with the Hans Class 66. I am interested actually in what problems have people been having. The sample I had, right, I was told the wheel covers might come off, but that's a pre-production issue, so I didn't make a thing of the rotating axle covers falling off, because I was assured that they were something that the production models wouldn't have. But the model that I reviewed was actually, it ran lovely. I was very impressed with that model. So curious what problems people have been having. Coddesmore, that's entirely up to Bachmann to do it or not. No one is going to justify a price. Do you ask Asda to do with that item? I know what you're saying, but
actually no, that's not a good comparison. Amazon and Asda and all them, they charge the lowest they can because they sell in such large numbers that they make their profits on a margin.
Yeah, I mean they don't. There's, I guess, with groceries, people can just go elsewhere, but with model trains, if you want, say, a C class, you go to Bachmann.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is, I think
the smaller market with the smaller number of manufacturers means that those manufacturers essentially have a much larger selling power because they've got most of the control.
Yeah, and the thing is, one thing I would say is, I'm almost certain if Bachmann were more open and actually went, we'll send, we'll answer your questions, sort of thing, they would have a justification for that price. And I'm almost certain that when they lay it out, you'd all go there and go, well, actually, now you've explained it, that makes a lot more sense, and we can see your point of view. And the thing that I don't understand, it's not the high prices, it's the fact that they won't engage with their consumers and go, okay, we recognise a lot of people are saying our models are overpriced, so we're going to say to you, this is why they cost what they do. This is why our labour costs have increased. This is why our factory costs have increased. This is why our production and shipping costs have increased. And work through it and say, and the end result is, if we wish to remain in business, this is the price point we have to charge to do that.
And if they said something like that, that would be it. That would be the end of the argument, because anyone who tried to bring up, like, oh, they're pricey, would be slapped down by people saying, look, they explained it, here is why.
And it's why I'm always very hesitant about going, oh, yes, they're very overpriced. Until Bachmann justify themselves, we can't say that they're overpriced, because we don't know if there is a legitimate reason. And what I'm saying is that I would love to give a platform in the same way that we've had people from Rails of Sheffield on, we've had people from Hornby on, we've had people from Oxford Rail on,
People from a Cura scale on.
People from a Cura scale on. And I work very closely with Daypol. Now, the person I work with at Daypol is a bit camera shy, but that doesn't stop him from providing me with an awful lot of information. And, they're very open and honest. And that's all we're asking from Batman.
Yeah.
Please engage with your customers.
Before it's too late.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that as a threat. What I'm saying is that at some point people are going to go, well, you're not talking to us. You are priced higher than all of the other manufacturers doing comparable things. So we have a legitimate reason to say, why?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's like, for example, if you went to Ferrari and went, well, it's a car, isn't it? Why does your car cost so much more than the Nissan Micra?
And they would have a reason.
And Ferrari would go, well, actually, whereas your Nissan Micra is mass-produced and is built down to a price, when we build a Ferrari, it is perfect. And it is built to within, like, such tolerances that you can go out and, you can do X, Y, Z, but it hand, like, bloody, they list all the things that go, this is why your Ferrari costs £150,000 and your Nissan Micra costs £8,000, and they're both a car with 4 wheels that you can commute to work in. And you go,
if you're commuting to work in a Ferrari, I want to know where you work, because I want a job there.
What, so you can go and look at the boss and go, oh, so you own the company, you can afford a Ferrari, okay then. But you know what I mean. And I pride myself as being a very, very fair, impartial YouTuber, and I would love to give a platform for Backman. Again, I extend the courtesy to you. Please, come on. It will not be, it doesn't have to be adversarial. It won't be adversarial.
It won't be, because you just want to know.
I don't do that. I'm not trying to trip you up. I'm not like these blooming these media people who are always forever trying to trip up politicians.
Yeah, they're always wanting a gotcha. That's not what we're about here, sir.
Yeah, it is
a legitimate
exactly. It's not about the gotcha. It's simply about, please, justify yourself so that we can say to people, this is why they cost that.
Yeah.
And people go, now you've explained it, we see your point of view.
Yeah.
And that, I think, is what irritates more than anything else. I'll happily pay 200 quid for a Batman C-Class if they go, well, actually, we can't charge any less than that because there's no point in selling them at a loss, and this is why it costs that much. They go, oh, I see your point of view, actually. Now you've explained it, that seems perfectly reasonable. And that is what seems to be lacking.
Yeah.
Leslie Gilpin says, Jason Sean at Rapido gave a brilliant explanation of the problems of manufacturing and costings in his recent video where Facebook followers were able to ask him questions direct. Yeah, and I think what I'm offering is Backman effectively a platform to be able to do that, a ready-made audience where they can go, okay, we're going to justify why it costs that much, and when we're done, you're going to go, yeah, that seems fair. But they're not taking anybody up on that.
No, they did send you an email once.
Through a third party, actually.
Yeah. And it didn't answer everything. And the other thing is, we're not asking for trade secrets.
No, we're not. Naive Gage says, don't hold back, Jeddy. Tell us what you really think. Am I that bad? Because I am aware.
Today you're a bit more forthright than you usually are. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, a bit of booze.
Do you want to order a kebab? She's drunk, ladies and gentlemen. That was the test and she failed it.
Right. Robert Ward says, I give Batman a wide berth at shows as they are clearly not interested in us enthusiasts. Now, this is the weird thing, right?
That's the thing. That's
the thing.
Not talking to people does.
When I'm at shows, actually, when you're actually there in person, I've found the people, I have to stick up for them on this. I've found the people at Backman on the stand really, really great people. That's the thing. And I almost feel like they're put between a rock and a hard place. Somewhere higher up the management tree is saying, oh no, we can't do X, Y, and Z. And they're the people on the front line, and they've always been exemplary with me. They've answered questions to a point.
That's what I was talking about the last time we mentioned this. If they don't communicate, that's the reputation they get. That, oh, I won't go and talk to them because they don't respond to anything.
Yeah.
But the guys, when you talk to them, they do. But they won't have all the information.
I have to say, at this point, there's a lot of people sat there eating popcorn and going, who put 50p in the dickhead?
It's coming up on 9 o'clock. Do we have any more questions?
Probably loads. I'm well behind. We've got 190
Are we going
people.
on for another half hour?
And Mark Wilson says, too much plonk. I totally agree with you, actually, on that. Olivia Gavin, agreed with you on YouTube promotion by people like you. I've got my information on UK model trends by people like you, especially in France. Absolutely.
My goodness, Jen, that message was 20 minutes ago.
Oh, is it? Right, I'm going to skip. Right, I'm really sorry. I've been waxing...
Oh, my God. Guys, if you have any questions, well, I'm going to let her go for another half hour because I think she needs to calm down. So if you've got any questions, put them in, and then we'll finish off with the videos.
Right, there's a few people having to head off. So what I'm going to do is... J94 says, I bought my C-Class at £106. Not bad price, even though I bought it at the shop on the Severn Valley Rail. And yeah, if you shop around, I know that Rails of Sheffield comparatively recently had the C-Class in southern black mallet. I think it was sunshine livery lettering for £69. So do shop...
my hand.
I've got to be careful doing that when drunk.
Tastes like green.
No, it's green. It's alright, look, we're coming up on 9 o'clock. I am very much aware that we're nearly...
Do you want to do the videos, or shall we hold them over for next week?
I think we should hold them over for next week because we're getting a bit late here, and it's been great waxing lyrical, and next week I'll probably be on coffee going, my lawyer says that I have to remain sober for this. But seriously, I don't think I've not said anything libelous.
I really don't think you have, but it's like I was saying.
And it's worrying that I have to ask that. Well,
it's like I was saying when I came up. We're not trying to have a go at people. Everyone has a right to charge what they want, and Backman have a right to charge what they've charged. We would just like to know why, when comparing it to other manufacturers, they seem higher priced. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. Nintendo does it all the time in the gaming market. They do what's called market skimming. All of their products are higher priced, and they have a reputation as you're paying for the extra quality. Maybe Backman's going for that.
Adidas trainers. You
yes,
pay for the name.
Yes, but they're allowed to charge that.
Yeah, I just think that it's an own goal in a way that not just myself, other YouTubers as well, would be quite happy to have them on to state their point of view and to say to defend themselves. I do feel in a way it feels very one-sided. There's a lot of people criticising them and we just hear nothing back.
Yeah, and that's a worry.
That to me, it makes me feel a bit bad. But I have extended the invitation
multiple times.
And if Wally happens this year, we'll be going to Wally. And I will ask them and say, look, please, please, please,
you're going to drag me along to Wally, aren't you?
No, because I have to pay for a ticket for you if I do that.
Yes, you heard it here, guys. I don't have to go. I can send her with cameras, and I can stay home.
Why would I take the cupboard monkey when I could use that money to buy train stuff?
I agree with this.
Anyway, look, right. We'll come to the end of the stream. There's a few people having to head off anyway. So it's been great.
Were there any other questions? Is what I
There probably were. There was hundreds of questions I never saw.
You are terrible for this.
The drink is hitting me now. It really is like a sledgehammer. And it's really quite warm up here as well. Even with the insulation. What have you found?
The final question for you from Human City Junction. Is there a Monday Club drinking game?
So what would be like the words or phrases that kick that off? Every time Jenny says, "I'm not drunk, honest." Every time Jenny takes a drink, everybody else takes it. God, you'd be drunk in there.
Every time you mention a manufacturer, someone should have to take a drink.
Every time I name drop and say, well, I was just talking to Daypole the other day.
Drink.
Every time I mention Sam's Trains, I know that a lot of people would be like, yeah, oh, Sam's Trains.
You do like to mention other YouTubers, I'll give you that.
I do. Yeah, New Junction.
And we just,
New Junction!
We just poke fun at Sam's Trains. He's a big enough channel to take it.
Oh god, yeah, he's like 7-8 times the size of me. You know, at the end of the day, he's a big boy, he can take it.
Yeah, we poke fun, but to be honest with
if you're in
you're all good friends.
Yeah, and if you go on his videos as well, tell him I sent you. Go and have a look, check him out. It's fun. He runs a train in a paddling pool. What's not to like?
Depends if you're in the paddling pool at the time.
Well, you're not going to get electrocuted. And that's the thing, actually. I have to stick up for Sam's Trains at this. I know he got a lot of flack over that. And the truth is, 12-volt electricity. Don't try it at home.
Yeah, don't try it just in case.
Electrocute you. It really won't.
It depends on the wiring. If you've got it right, it won't. If you've screwed up somewhere.
Newsflash. I did it at age something like 8 years old. I connected a Hornby Smoky Joe with crocodile clips. I took the body off, connected crocodile clips to it, and I dropped it in a sink full of water just to see what would happen. And you know what? It just kept running. It really did just keep running. So when I saw that video title, I thought, yeah, it'll just run. One of those things.
Never told me that.
Never told my parents either.
Well, you have now.
Gave the motor a blooming good wash, I'll tell you that.
Oh my goodness. Can't take you anywhere unless it's to take you back the next day and apologise.
Yeah. Right, look, anyway.
Guys, thank you very much, Jen, for this. And do you have a thanks to your sponsor as well?
I do, actually, yes. So, big thank you to Warworld Scenics for sponsoring the live stream. And don't forget, you can check them out at the link down below. And my personal recommendation is the Static Grass applicator. That's my favourite tool, but also you can check out they do clump foliage, scenery foliage, static grass, and MDF bridges and buildings and walls too. But until next time, you all take really great care of yourself. This is me, Jenny Kirk, saying I'm really going to try not to get drunk next time.
Doof.
3 weeks sober, and then I have a bottle of carver and it all goes to pot. So next week it might be, I'm very sorry I annoyed my sponsor. So.
I'm very sorry I annoyed everyone. Yeah. And I didn't mean to declare independence.
Yeah, but look, anyway, you all take really great care of yourself. Stay safe. We're still in the tail end of lockdown, so just look after yourself.
Look after yourself.
Look after yourself. Wash your hands, and always get somebody to hold the ladder for you. Until next time, we've got a great video coming up tomorrow. We're doing a review of not tomorrow.
Wednesday.
Wednesday, we're doing a review of some great Pico products.
Guys, she's drank so much, she's travelled through time.
Yeah. So on Wednesday, we've got a great review of some Pico products. Really pleased to be given the opportunity to review them. Really interesting, actually. So stay tuned for that. Friday as well, we have a static grass review. Yes, that's right, enlivening your existing scenery using static grass applicators. And I was so taken by these from our sponsor Warworld Scenics that I gave it a go and I rejuvenated my O-gauge layout. So stay tuned for Friday's video on that. And then next week we have got another review. It's the one I keep trailing ahead for, and then it keeps getting bumped for something else. So we're finally going to do the Thompson 01 review from Hornby. Will be the Wednesday video, and then the Friday video will be an update on Weir Yard, because we've now finally got all of the back scene finished, and I've added in the 009 diorama, and been adding a lot of static grass, and also been doing some seagrass trees. You can catch up with that on the Hornby magazine website, I believe is where that's going to be going up. So stay tuned, stay frosty, stay safe. This is me, Jenny Kurt, saying bye for now.
Bye-bye.
And the covered monkey.
Oh.
Yeah, okay, just turn it off.